Welcome, it's SVPod. Stanford Steve. Red is here. Excited for the podcast. Appreciate all of you out there.
Notes?
Yeah. Got notes.
Upside down.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's... I think
Go ahead, read it upside down.
Well, I can't read it. I can't read my notes upside down. Okay, so we have these cards, these fancy cards that
Fancy.
for those of you that are watching.
Real gold.
Yeah, that is. It's gold flake. It's gold leaf. And then I think that I have the cards upside down on my desk because I did this before, and then it's upside down to Steve. But I can read the notes, which is all that matters.
Absolutely.
No notes. Thanks to all of you who enjoyed the airport story as much as Steve enjoyed it. We're down skiing in the middle, and that's not the middle of nowhere. It's actually a lovely part of the state of Virginia over the weekend. This guy walks up to me, just looks at me serious as a heart attack, and goes, "Never again." And then my brain wasn't dialed in, and I'm like, "What are you? What? Oh, right." He's like, "Dude," I was like, "Yeah, you don't even know the half of it." People enjoyed. So thank you.
How are the knees? Good? Cutting some snow?
We're just out there just getting some turns in.
Is it early in the air or is it late? Like, are you in your
Depends. For me,
wheelhouse?
Well, I mean, the fam's been going down there weekly, so they've been
Not you. You're working, buddy. Somebody's got to, huh?
You got to be careful. Wifey's been listening lately.
Uh-oh.
I look on the dash.
No.
I look on the dash of the Suburban. I see no gription in the Monza, and I'm like, uh-oh. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy if they're happy out there skiing. I got to go down and enjoy it.
Nice.
It actually has snowed here and has been cold on the East Coast. So
Not anymore, baby. Warm front coming through.
Here we go. Warm it up.
Get the clubs out.
Heck, you know what? And you're not a golfer, so I can't ask you this question, but I'm not that guy. We live right adjacent to the Congressional Country Club, and it'll be...
And what's it's right here, too?
What?
Avondale.
Avenel.
Yeah.
Avenel's. Well, but I mean...
You're in between.
If it's 30-something degrees and there's no snow on the ground, you look out and you see people playing golf. I don't love anything that much. Anything, Scott? Anything. Your family? To walk around for 4 hours in the miserable cold? For what? You suck at golf. Why are you doing this to yourself? I don't get it.
I'm totally with you. I could never do it.
I need it. Now, I'll play when it's hot as balls.
Yeah.
If it's 98 and disgusting, I'll play. And you could argue that's worse. You get a heat stroke and fall out. But I just see the people playing when it's cold, and I'm thinking, that ain't me, bro. And I guarantee you, when this snow melts this week, it'll be all soggy and gross, and there'll be some dude out there. Got my new irons.
New grips.
There you go. Have at it.
Harris English, new grips.
Have at it, buddy. Hey, shout to Harris.
Big one.
That was a good win.
Told me, he goes, I had to put my mouthpiece in and grind it out.
And that was a grind.
Wow.
South course at Torrey, that's a U.S. Open course. That's where Tiger, of course, beat Rocco.
Remember that?
You know that. Golf
I
Insider.
would move from the TV that day. Watch the whole, every shot.
That was pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. I didn't know we were going to talk about that before we talk about football. But
Hold on. Speaking of golf, while we're this and we're off topic, whatever.
I don't care.
Did we touch on the Ryan Day golf cart?
No, we didn't.
Do you know where he was coming?
To our set.
Yeah. Because remember, we saw him whiz by to go to the press conference.
Yep.
And then I wish we knew.
Right. It would have been a great way to start.
The poor guy was freezing.
Yeah, because he got Gatorade dumped on him. And the thing I never knew about that facility is that it's
freezing.
That it's kind of outdoor-indoor.
Yeah.
And the man had Gatorade, and they had a direct hit on him. And he was literally shivering as we're talking.
And they had to walk. I'm like, why are they walking? They just had a beautiful golf cart.
Not
and then,
anymore.
of course, we get off the air, and I see the video. So, sorry, Coach Day. Can we get him a dry sweatshirt after he won a national title?
We get a driver that can navigate the hallways. I mean, it's not like you're driving through a little square in Europe.
He's lucky he wasn't one of those foot hanger outers either. You know those guys on the golf cart?
I am.
Mangled. You thought the
scooter
accident was bad?
Yeah. Well, thank goodness he doesn't have a mangled foot.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was last week.
Mm.
We got the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yippee.
After Steve's, how many circles of hell are there? Because I was thought last week the Atlanta airport is like the 10th circle of hell. I don't know how many circles of hell there are. But with you having to deal with Penn State, Notre Dame, followed by Notre Dame, Ohio State, and now Eagles, Chiefs, seems that you're in your own personal hell because people are going to be happy that you're not necessarily thrilled to see happy.
I could not be less happy with the matchup.
Why, Steve?
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yep.
Seriously, doesn't it feel like it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing we had a couple of years ago, and the Chiefs are there every year. Come on, Steve. Celebrate greatness.
Congrats. I've done a lot of things. Did a lot of reading, went back and watched the game last night, and I thought we had a good conversation after the show last night. And
let me set up
let
me set up your question. I said, well, it's greatness, and you said,
is it?
And you said it repeatedly. Is it? And I said, Steve, they don't lose playoff games. They've won 9 straight playoff games. They've won 17 straight games, they being the Chiefs, that are one-score games. You can't beat them. You might not be psyched, but that's greatness. That's the definition of it. If no one can beat you, that's greatness.
Okay. All right. Here's how I feel differently.
Okay.
During the Patriots run.
Uh-huh.
Plenty of home games at Foxborough. Never thought anyone was going to go there and win. Never.
Right.
Towards the end, obviously, they weren't. But I'm talking about when they had it cranked, the Brewski, Vrabel, when they had the defense. And then I just feel differently. It just gets thrown in my face that these teams could go in to Kansas City. I thought Houston could go in and fight years past. Who's gone there? Baltimore. They went on the road and did it last year. That was awesome to watch. That's what everybody wanted to see, and they threw it in our face again. But like Buffalo thought they had a chance to win, whereas back in the day with New England, it was just like, all right, just put them in the Super Bowl. And then I keep going, and I'm like, all right, Mahomes sat the year with Alex Smith, 7th year, 7th AFC Championship game. That's incredible to me because I am a guy that appreciates getting to that stage. And maybe it's not a Super Bowl. Maybe it is getting to the Super Bowl. I don't fault people for losing the Super Bowl. I don't fault people for losing. Like, AFC Championship game is a mountain, a ginormous mountain. So when I step back and look, I'm like, and I'm a guy that grew up watching Montana, and he would always be at the top. Even with Brady, it took a lot for me to put him up there with him. And Mahomes is there now. You have to put it there. If you're not a fan, which I am not a fan of the Chiefs, but going back and watching it and then seeing how good they were last night, and that's the thing that I thought about all week leading up, and I talked about Buffalo has to be A. They have to have an A effort. And the Chiefs, I knew they were going to play well, and we'll talk about Spags and the defense, but that offense to come out and set the tone and go up, I thought was really, really telling. And watching the tape, Josh was not the Josh in the first 2 rounds. He, early on, had the old Favre high throws, looked a little, not flustered, he just looked like super anxious. And that was where you need to jump on them. They end up getting the lead in the second half, but you go back and you look at the opportunities, especially against the Chiefs at home, and they didn't capitalize on their opportunities, and he wasn't as good as he needs to be. And I think you saw that press conference after, and that hurts. It's tough to watch, but he knew he missed an opportunity.
It's greatness. The worst result for Patrick Mahomes as a starting quarterback. The worst is the loss in the AFC Championship game. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
It's nonsense. It's stupidity. You can't do that. It's what the reality of this team is. And I'm with you on Allen and Buffalo. It looked frantic is overstating it, but it was redlining it in a way that felt understandable. Like, all year they've done an awesome job staying present, not getting down the road, handling this, handling this, handling this. It's like golf analogy. It's like there's a hole you're hoping to get to play that matters, and now you're there. You've done all the work. Now here it is. And it's a team you've beaten before, but you haven't beaten them this round.
Mhm.
And then the thing about the Kansas City Chiefs, more than anything else, is if you want to beat them, you have to beat them. They are not going to beat themselves. They just don't. And so when Mahomes threw a pick, or no, there was the fumble, but Buffalo was offsides, you think, oh, man, there's your chance. You got the turnover. They got a turnover on that drive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver ripped it away from Mahomes it was like a little zone read to Pacheco. And you get a turnover, and you're like, okay, you tell me I'm going to win the turnover battle? I'll feel pretty good about it. You tell me we're going to have the ball driving with the lead in the fourth quarter after we're down double digits? That happened too.
Mm-hmm.
And the list of things you've got to do to beat them, that's the part that I go back and when I revisit it, I just marvel at what I believe is just the competitive greatness, their ability to win games. They're down double digits to San Francisco in the Super Bowl they won with the throw to Tyreek.
Mm-hmm.
Then they win by double digits. They're down to San Francisco last year. They're down yesterday on their home field. You got to beat them. And I don't love what last week turned into about officiating. No. There's a lot of content farming that seems to go on. Do your thing. It's not the space that I occupy, and I'm grateful for that. We get to talk about the games afterwards with the people. You get to talk to Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts yesterday. It's awesome.
And Boomer.
Yeah.
Windows.
The best. Fucking Godfather, okay? And he's nice to me. Acts like I'm doing something good for the joint, man. Come on. It's Chris Berman. Respect, only respect. Thank you for reminding me that, by the way.
Yeah.
But the whole refs bit, little much. At the same time, if you're looking at that play, 22-21, Buffalo with the ball and driving, I said to you before we started, I think Kincaid might have had the first down on that third down throw. You said you felt like
I thought the left elbow was down just short, but it's the other thing is we have the line and it's at the line, but then when they measure it, it feels like it's always different. So I was reading there's a chip in the ball, but it's in the middle of the ball, and I don't get that. But like, what happened to measurements? Like, if we have a chain gang, just let me see it.
Yeah, and we didn't see that on television.
They never do during NFL games, it feels like, anymore.
I agree. And what I don't understand as I watched it, we've all seen the play a million times. Allen goes into the pile, and his back is to the line judge on the left-hand side.
On the Chiefs sideline.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. He's looking at 17 and Allen. That's what he sees. The ball is on the front side. The guy that runs in from the left side, you think about back in the day of Madden, you get a left foot or a right foot spot. Well, in this case, do you get a guy on the left-hand side of the field or a guy on the right-hand side of the field? The guy running in on the left-hand side of the field that's looking at Allen's back is short. The guy running in looking at the front of Allen where the ball is a half yard ahead minimum. And this is where you have to ask yourself, in a $1 billion league, in a game that means this much, we have middle-aged to elderly people running in, shuffling in from the sideline, and guessing where the fucking ball is. That's just stupid. Figure it out. It's tricky, though, because the technology that works for tennis, where the ball is either in or it's out, that line on the field, or the line on the court and the ball, it's static. The ball's either in or it's out. You've got the ball, there's a chip in it, we've got it all gridded out. Well, do I reach the ball ahead? Where is forward progress stop? There's always going to be a subjective element to it. So there's no perfect fix. for it. I'm just telling you what my eyes saw, what it appeared, particularly from the overhead camera. It looked to me like Allen had a first down. That isn't conspiracy theory, rigged. It's nothing other than a subjective viewpoint of a play that mattered massively in a game, because to my eyes, it seemed Buffalo should have had first down, 1-point lead driving. Kansas City goes down and scores, gets 2. Buffalo scores again, so we're back to we're square. Kansas City scores. Buffalo still has a chance, and that's where we can get to the Spags play. That's where Kincaid's got a shot at making a catch. Was there a flag? Yeah. CBS said there was, and then they never said it. Like, I have no idea to this day. I have no idea now. It's a day later. I don't know if there was a flag. Did they just pick it up because it didn't matter? Would there have been a flag had Kincaid called? I have no idea. And they never said. They never said if there was or there wasn't. But I know that Spags brings the corner, and Kincaid's got a chance to catch it, and there's your ball game.
How about before, as we're talking officiating, the ball to Worthy and Bishop? Well, that's a weird one because half the ball hits the ground.
Agreed. And it wasn't a matter of possession. Like, did Buffalo have it, Bishop or Worthy? Because there was a Hamlin hold on Kelsey on that play. Mm-hmm. So Buffalo's not getting the ball anyway, but they would have only gotten 5 yards, not the ball down to where they
19 compared to the 8. I think that was
right. Which to me, I wasn't nearly as tied up about that one because it wasn't about possession of the football. It was about where the possession of the ball was, and they would have been first down with them driving.
Correct.
So that one didn't trouble me the way other people seem to get jammed up on that one. For me, it's did Kincaid have it on 3rd? I definitely thought Allen had it on 4th. Again, it isn't conspiracy. It's not all of the bullshit that everyone talked about all last week about all of it. It's just the most important call of a game.
The other thing too, you gotta be careful with the turnovers thing. Is I consider a turnover on down a turnover.
I agree with that 100%.
Like that's
Buffalo didn't have a turnover. Well, they did. They gave him the ball.
Yeah, it's like it's titled turnover on downs.
Right, so it's almost like in parentheses. No turnovers where it was a fumble or a pick, but it was a turnover on downs. You had the ball, then you didn't. And I don't know that. You tell me what Allen explained it afterwards. He's going through his cadence to try to see if there's a tell.
Yep.
And this goes back to the point that was made on Countdown when we were in Arrowhead for the divisional round, that Spags has this uncanny ability to make the call to win a game when a call to win the game is there.
But it's executed to a T.
There you go.
And what Josh is talking about with the cadence is he's trying to go cadence to see, all right, if that corner's going to come, he's going to take a step. He never budges. Never budges. Now they're playing the odds. You got a tight split there. So he's pretty close to the right tackle. And what it does is the way when the corner comes inside, it messes with the guard's eyes because the guard sees the guy lined up on the tackle go out. Immediately he's going to look left. That's where the confusion is with the protection. Now, why Josh went right? He's got 2 guys in his face. Is there a way to stand in there and take it? Yeah, but it's Josh Allen. He's trying to make a play, and that's what it goes back.
And he did, though. He did make a play.
Correct.
He gave his guy a chance to make the catch.
Yep. And this idea, he should have turned left and threw it to Shakir. Like, I can't get into that. That's how fast that league is. And, again, to the Chiefs' point, man, that execution, for them to be in the biggest play of the game and execute it to a T with that corner not showing it and then being there right there. I mean, he catches the ball and there are 2 guys in his face. That's execution in the biggest moment of the season with a team trying to do something that's never been done. And I thought Chris Jones said it great. This is the biggest game I ever played because I knew what was at stake. And that's what's cool. You go back to what you get to do and talking to these guys and listening to them. They're never going to say it. They're never we'll talk about the Eagles. Saquon admitted after the game how big this was for him. They're never going to say it before the game, and then to hear them say it and admit.
Biggest game of his life.
He said it.
Chris Jones said that, but what else did he say about it? Just exactly what you're describing, Steve. The execution. And what did Chris say? And it was so matter of fact that it totally makes sense. But this is why these are the best at what they do. Man, we've repped that out since camp.
Yep.
Think about that. The mundane, what are they doing? You see the video, it's dudes in sweats and jerseys tucked into like over hoodies, and it looks like they're just wandering around on a field. These are professionals executing on the highest level, stuff that none of us that haven't lived it have any comprehension of. And we rep that out since the camp. But then it's January the 26th, whatever, and it's fourth down and 5. And it's a chance to do something no one's ever done. And what do? You get there. You make Allen have to make a decision that fast. And you point something we've pointed out a lot. Till you're standing on field level, you don't have the slightest comprehension of the speed at which these enormous humans are moving.
No.
You said it, Steve. The ball's in his hands, and there are 3 people in his kitchen. And yeah, if he turns left and sees Shakir on the orbit route, I believe it's called. He's there. Okay. Well, he didn't. You know why? Because there were 3 human beings in red moving at warp speed in his face, and somehow he backpedals, and somehow he delivers it to a place where Kincaid had a chance. Fractional, man. Fractional. And those are the things the Chiefs do. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch over and over and over and over again. That, to me, is greatness. Their play-by-play guy, I guess I get it. You feel like it's you against the world. And he's screaming, you might not like him, you might disrespect him, but you're going to have to deal with him. And I'm like, settle down. And then I thought, you know what? If that were the Redskins of my youth and everybody seemed like they hated him, I'd be like, hey, man, have some. Suck it.
And that's the thing. I can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend being the team that has done it over and over and over and over again.
And that's them.
It's crazy.
That's them. Chance to go for 3 in a row. I'm going to say it. Go ahead. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think they're going to get it.
Hot take. Start the pod over.
Saquon Barkley is the reason why I think Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl. I get that Spagnuolo in Kansas City's got 2 weeks to sit around and scheme it up. Cool. I think that guy with that group is, by the way, it ain't just him. Just like it's easy to say it's Mahomes. Like I said last night on SportsCenter, for the Bills, where I ache for the Bills, and I legitimately mean that word, is that we love them.
Yeah.
Mafia, love them. We know people that are part of it. Go Bills. Shout out Marlette. Shout out Big Red. It's like Mahomes is like Tiger Woods. And if you're Ernie Els and VJ Singh and David Duvall and Davis Love III and Justin Leonard and all those dudes that were in the middle of it, and that dude showed up, you're like, oh. Like, I might get one, but you tell yourself you're going to get there, and then you have to deal with the reality, just like the Jim Kelly Bills that lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. Maybe you just don't, because you got to deal with that team. Maybe you just don't. But it isn't Mahomes alone. It's him and all the rest of it. I think it's Saquon that makes Philadelphia so difficult to deal with, because his home run hitting ability is unmatched. Another 60-plus yard touchdown run. Washington went on an 18-play drive yesterday to open the game.
Field goal.
Went for 3 fourth downs. Got it. Then they had a 4th and 5, and I guess I'm processing this in my head. Maybe Quinn's like, all right, let's not mess around and not get anything out of this.
Got to get points on that.
We agree. One toss left to Saquon, and it's fly, Eagles fly, and they never trail again. They never trailed again. 18-play drive. Show them we're here. Ready to fight. Cool. Toss left. Fly, Eagles fly. ELGSES, Eagles. And that dude, what do you have, 3 more yesterday?
Yeah, him and Hurts.
And then that guy, Jalen Carter, up front. And then Smith Was he wear 3 now? Nolan Smith wears 3? I say Nolan Smith. That's his name, right? Nolan Smith played for Duke. Who's the Smith from Georgia? Am I getting my? Yeah, it's Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
I doubted myself.
Come on.
All right. Sometimes you just catch yourself and you go, wait a minute. It's easy for people to do this to say the wrong name, and then you get got. And then what's this 53 Baum? That guy's been insane.
Unreal.
He had the strip of Giambi early on. I just think this Eagles team, 55 yesterday, like texting with Kelsey last week, he's like, Link's a pretty tough place to win a playoff game. And in this space last week, right? 2 weeks ago before they went to Detroit, I said, I'm pretty confident that this is a team that's going to go up there and compete. I don't want to overstate it, but felt good. I couched it last week, and I just said, my fear is that you're just not going to be able to keep Barkley in check. One play, and they didn't. And Philadelphia is better. They're much more complete. They've also been in that situation far more often, and I thought you saw it. Washington wasn't going to win unless they were perfect. They had 4 turnovers. They had 4 more penalties. It's when they had turnovers, it's when they had penalties that just took a game that was close-ish and let it get to a point where it was 55-23.
We've seen it in years past. A team makes a great run, and you're not capable of playing that type of game to go to the biggest game in the sport. And I thought, to me, the whole thing was Hurts because
he was great.
He played the rest of the game against the Rams. They have a double-digit lead, and then people start picking apart what he looked like. I'm like, it's just freaking inches of snow on the ground. They have a double-digit lead. I'm not reading too far into this. Now, this day and age where you only got a week to prepare for the biggest game before the Super Bowl, you're not going to get a lot of info. And I was hesitant because I didn't know if was he going to be 60%? Was he going to be 80? He wasn't going to be 100. But he showed early enough.
Whatever he was yesterday was a pretty high percentage of excellence.
And we've talked, look at his career about when, and I still go back to last year, man. Like that end of season for the Eagles and how that were they 10-1?
They were 10-1, and then the wheels fell off.
5 of the last 6, and then they lost to Tampa. We were there. That's still one of the most mind-boggling things I'd love to see something written about is what the hell happened there. But anyway,
I give them credit because whatever it was, they managed to keep it in-house.
No doubt. And when you look at the Eagles, that's what it means because I still put Jalen Hurts in the upper tier. I've talked about how much I love his composure. I think he's my favorite athlete when it comes to how he handles himself and how he handles situations.
Adult, grown man, CEO.
Big time. So that was the biggest question for me. And then it's funny, the night before the game, NFL Network was re-airing Eagles Commanders from, I think it was week 11. And it was the game in Philadelphia from earlier this year. And and that's with Cosme in the lineup. And I'm like, man, they can't really block him. And then I wanted to see how Washington comes out. And Cliff comes out. I want to say first 6 snaps are empty set or maybe one back, no tight end at all. And I'm like, they got to get rid of the ball quick. And then a couple times they got rid of it. Then there's the turnover on the second drive. So it was a snowball, but I want to give Philly credit because they brought it to. They caused all that stuff for Washington. So I give them the credit, man. It was once you saw that thing and you knew, to your point, how much the Commanders could hold up. And then Barkley does what he does to start it because I think he ended up the first half with 3 rushes for 63 yards. So you're like, all right, if we don't give up that play, they got the field goal before the half, and then forget it.
Yeah, it was still, it's 34-23. Washington has the ball beginning of the fourth, and they're driving. Mm-hmm. And Eckler has the ball knocked out of his hands. And it was going to take a lot for Washington to pull off yet another fourth-quarter miracle. But it was still, you could still sort of see it. You could see a path.
Yeah.
And then you turn it over, and then it was curtains. In the end, 55-23. The thing about Saquon, and there's a million things to like, is that I loved is who's the first dude to get to Shipley after he scored? Saquon Barkley. That speaks to real, just everything that being a great teammate is embodied in that, because he's the best. He's the best back in the NFL. Okay. In a league where this year the emphasis on that was revitalized, but he's been the best. And in a game where, he could be with his hoodie on the sidelines or whatever, he's sprinting down the field to go get to Shipley, and it's like, right on. That's what you want to see from your best player, showing love for the bench mob. Although Shipley had he had the hit on that on that kickoff that gave Philadelphia another touchdown right before halftime. Washington, and I asked Jalen, and I didn't mean it to dog Washington, but it's just, you're familiar with this stage and this circumstance, and the team you're playing wasn't. Like, did that show itself today? And he was like, no, it's a great team. And I wasn't trying to bait him to say something bad about Washington. That wasn't my goal. I was saying I felt like Washington showed that they were new to it. 4 turnovers, the penalties at the wrong time. Lattimore just lost his mind and wanted to fight A.J. Brown every snap. That just felt like one of those diva cornerback, diva wide receiver. It happens sometimes. But, Brown had the touchdown on a perfect pass right there before halftime. And Washington's, when they got the penalties, when they turned the football over, it was crippling. Against a team that's just better and in an absolute madhouse of the link. And I really think that the difference makers they have on defense and Barkley, I like Philly.
I worry about the offensive line injuries. If Juergens is back and Dickerson's knee, like, that guy was out there. Like, he shouldn't have been out there. He couldn't even walk. Then you saw him hit his own ass with one of the shotgun snaps. Like, that got a little dicey.
The old ass snap.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Nope.
But the thing about Saquon, what really hurts is, I'm not a Penn State fan. I'm not a Giants fan. And I'm not an Eagles fan. But I love that guy. The way he carries himself, the energy he provides, just from doing his thing. And then, people have written about it this year, about the resurgence of the running back, and you could see how important they are. I thought, going back to the Chiefs quickly, Kareem Hunt at the beginning of that game yesterday was awesome, what they needed. Found some get off, and boom, he's the key to that drive. They go up early in that game. But what Saquon brings to the table, just his mantra, and yeah, the Eagles have the best offensive line in the sport, but they had some questions. There's Stoutland out pregame, going over with Steen, who hasn't really played guard a lot, and they're walking through knowing that Juergens isn't going to be able to play, and Dickerson's going to have to play center, and he hasn't played center since he was at Alabama with Steen. So, like, all this stuff, but the main benefactor is Saquon, and I just wonder. I was going through the list of running backs who've run. His over-under for the Super Bowl is 121, I believe. And there's only like 6 or 8 guys that have rushed for more than 120 yards in the Super Bowl. Emmett did it twice. Timmy Smith, 204.
Shout out Timmy Smith, Washington.
I feel like he did that in one quarter, too.
Well, there was one pretty good quarter in that game.
And including the quarterback getting hurt.
Yep.
Right?
35 for Washington, second quarter against Denver. No big deal.
Zonka did it. Riggins did it. Marcus Allen, you remember that one?
I mean, it was during a stretch with Washington went to 4 Super Bowls. They won 3 in 9 years. They went to 4 and 9, I think it was. And
that's the only one they lost, right? The Raiders?
Correct. And they got debacled.
Marcus Allen ran for 191. It felt like he ran for 91 on that one run where he did it.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that was over quick, though. Wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, for Saquon now to have this stage and look at the names that are only there, that's some big time stuff. Because again, growing up, running back was the position you wanted to be, man. You're going to get the ball. You're going to score the most touchdowns. You're going to get the ball the most on your team, and he embodies everything you want as a leader and as a running back. And it's just great to see for him, even though he plays for the Eagles.
Massive respect. I agree with everything you're saying about the leadership. talking to Aaron Andrews on Fox afterwards, and it was, yes, this is cool, but, it's the whole Kobe, who passed away 5 years ago to the day on Sunday. The job's not finished. That whole idea on the middle of a championship run, and for a guy like Saquon who hadn't been there to have that level of, and it wasn't dismissive. It was just, yes, this is great. Got another one to get, and I read Adam Schefter was tweeting that it's his birthday, his 28th birthday is Super Bowl Sunday. I think the ability for him to take any play the distance is the thing that's just the scariest part about it. He has home run hitting ability that it's a combination of speed when he's in the open field, and then the ability to just spin out of tackles. I mean, that toss is a first down. It's a 20-yard gain, but he gets hit on Washington's 40, and then he spins out of one, and then it's just everyone in the secondary is chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with him. It feels like it's happened a lot this year because it has. I mean, he's got over $2,000 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, Kansas City, they've dealt with this, but I think Philly, having seen him, helps a bit. And they saw him not long ago, and they've gotten better on that defensive side of the ball as well. They've got, whether it's Carter, Baum, Smith, their corners, that rookie, Quignon, whew. I mean, Terry McLaurin had a touchdown. He had a touchdown in all 3 games in the playoffs. Terry was awesome, but I don't think he had 3 catches yesterday. Three's what he ended up with.
Yeah.
Well, and Quignon had a pick down there. That's his first career pick. They're young at that position, but those guys make plays. I don't know. Philly's been great. Jalen hasn't lost a game that he finished since Tampa Bay. That was 100 years ago. Seriously, I looked at it.
Yeah.
They lost the Washington game. He didn't finish. They were ahead when he got concussed. They've only won games. So, I mean, it's good on good. These are the 2 best teams. I mean, Baltimore and Buffalo, if either of them, whoever survived that game in Buffalo, would have gone to Arrowhead and won, there was no argument. But that was the group. Mm-hmm. And Washington, nothing but a positive. I always say it because it's the conversation we often had with Russillo back in the day. Washington's the perfect example of, you don't have to win a championship to have a franchise-changing season, and they had it. I did look at their schedule next year, though, for what you get, and you go, oof, because they got to the playoffs having only beaten 1 playoff team. Mm-hmm. You made that point. But then they went up there and got the 1 seed and gave it to them. And they lost yesterday, and the other team was better, significantly. But this is probably the worst Washington team that Daniels is likely to play on as you move forward. I would guess that it will be an appealing place for people to come play. I believe Adam Peters, the GM's got the 3rd most money to spend. And I would think that you'll only see upgrades moving forward. But with a season like this comes a schedule that on paper will be more challenging.
I believe T. Higgins can only play for 1 team, right?
Yes.
Feels like 25 teams think they're getting him.
Well, every team that has
unbelievable.
Every team that has a need at the position just goes, look good.
Look good in our
in a Patriot uniform, in a Washington uniform, listen. He's awesome. He's awesome. And it was interesting. I guess he switched his representation to Jamar Chase, so you can get in together and make it a package deal. But the thing about package deals is, I don't want my package to be half of his package or 2/3 of his package. I want it to be, same neighborhood. He can have a nicer house, but I want to live on the same street. And that, I want to be in that neighborhood. So that'll be the tricky thing.
Yeah, I always wonder how that happens. Because we've talked about it. We've seen him in person multiple times. Like, Jamar Chase is the best receiver.
That is my belief as well.
Yep. So, like, this scale of, All right, who's up next? Who's up next? Like that factors in, and I still always go back.
That's the dumbest thing of the way NFL salaries work is who's next.
Jordan Love.
Right. Whose turn is it to get more money than the guy who's better than him?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better example than the fact that somebody makes more money than Mahomes, which is that he should have just an escalator that I get $1 more than whoever gets the next contract, the end.
And that's where I can't understand math, but going back to remember when the Chiefs made this decision to put him on that contract. It was like, we got our guy and whatever. This is going to be the biggest deal in sports in, 2-3 years. And it is.
Right.
I wanted to read something because I thought it was the best thing I read last night. It's from Kevin Clark. And
does an excellent job.
Yes. He talked about
Kyler Murray's his good friend from his podcast.
Oh, all right. Kevin Clark.
He had him on, and Kyler, that's a long story. Forget it. Hi, Kevin.
The reason I think Mahomes is Michael Jordan is because Jordan relegated so many would-be legends to minor characters. He left literally no breathing room for anyone else and shaped the legacies of basically all his contemporaries. We might be seeing it again. He's on his way. And so I read that, and I go right back to the Jordan era, right? And what happens? He leaves. Patrick Ewing gets a road. Is that Joe Burrow? Ewing, Burrow? It's Josh Allen, Barkley. There's Lamar, Dominique. Like, it's just, it makes the sense because we don't like the word, but it's always around the narrative. He does create narratives for the other guys that he plays because they can't beat him.
Well,
so
I think
they get looked down upon.
Another word for narrative is just reciting of facts, right? Like Allen hasn't done it, hasn't beaten him in the postseason, and Lamar has not gotten beyond a certain round. So narrative, like the talking about the things that have happened. I mean that's the reality here.
Yeah.
I think Clark makes the great point, and it's the same. And to me, it's the same type of analogy that's made with Tiger. The difference is that in golf, there's a lot of differences. It's individual. You get 4 chances a year to become a forever player. All you have to do is win one major. I say all you have to do. It's hard to win any, but you do get 4 bites of the apple every single year to win a major. And if you win one, then people say, hey, that guy won the PGA at whatever or the Open at wherever. You get 1 year, 1 chance a year, and you keep kicking the can down the road. That's why I hate to say it. That's why I say I ache for Buffalo fans, because you think it'll happen, but you think Kelly thought they were only going to lose in Super Bowls? You think that group thought they were only going to lose in Super Bowls? No, you'll get there. Been nominated for an Emmy 8 times. People are like, oh, you'll win one. You know what I say? Probably won't. I probably won't. And I don't just have Mahomes. I got Tirico and Ernie Johnson and a zillion other people. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm Josh Allen. I'm not saying I'm as good as these people. I'm just saying sometimes being good, acknowledged as good, maybe that's your end game. Maybe Josh Allen is Charles Barkley in the end.
What do you do if you're Josh Allen today?
I have no idea. I thought about that. I started to listen to the sound. And just seeing him up there, there's nothing he can say. Nothing. I love this team. I love that we work. There's nothing he can say. Nothing he can do. Can't go watch film. Can't go rep out anything. Get the guys together, run some.
No.
Nothing. You sit there and try to figure out. Did I have that first down? Did we get there? I don't know. They said I didn't. I don't know.
Tough, man.
Greatness.
Yeah.
That's greatness too. When you continually rebuke. And last year went on the road to Buffalo and Baltimore back to back. That's greatness. The point you make about how it seemed like you didn't have a chance against New England, I understand what you mean. But in some ways, the greatness of tricking you into thinking you have a chance and that you don't is more of it too.
Bingo. Because that's what I think the Chiefs have replicated from the Patriots. And you hear Belichick, his famous quote is whatever percentage of the games are lost, not won.
Uh-huh.
That's what they've done. They've magnified the situation, and your mistakes are magnified when you play us because you know what we're bringing to the table. And we're going to force you into some uncomfortable situations. And you saw it right off the jump with McDermott with a couple decisions.
And Allen, as you said, I mean, there were series, there were uncharacteristic series where they frankly, very first series, he got lucky that not one, but two balls could have been picked on the first series.
Mm-hmm.
2 balls. A couple of just deep shots, and he ad-libs better as well as anybody. I think Lamar's in that case. Mahomes is in that case. The great ones ad-lib and find little treasures that don't seem there. But, I mean, a couple of times he's looking deep, and, like, there's 3 red jerseys and 1 white one, and none of them bit him. But I guess that's what happens when you feel the angst of here we are again, and it's the same shit again.
The other thing I do want to touch about in the AFC game, too, is 2-point plays. I saw him be confident, taking the point off the board at the end of the first half, go for 2 on the tush push, get stuffed. Come back out. Now you're down 5. You score. What do you have to do now?
Yeah.
Go for 2, down. Chiefs get the ball, score. They go for 2, and they get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all those little things, man.
The fractional things. And you made this point last night. I don't know if I said it on the air. I think I did. For all the things Buffalo didn't do or whatever, how many of their touchdowns came on 4th down plays?
2.
And they were great fucking plays.
Oh, God.
They're great
Still
plays.
want to see that angle, how Reed doesn't get a finger on that ball to Samuel.
Just an impossibly perfect throw.
Oh.
The scheme gets him open. It's got to be delivered in that tiny little window because there's 2 hands from 2 different dudes that are passing in the night as the ball goes through on the way on a 4th down touchdown. The Cook touchdown on 4th down is just will. It's the pitch early enough that gives him a chance to ad-lib, to stay up in the air. I don't know why Cook didn't touch the ball on that last drive if I'm Buffalo. You had enough time and timeouts. I would have leaned on him. That was the thing Kansas City was really struggling with, was him, which is part of why I think about Barkley and going up against Kansas City. I mean, Cook.
Romo made a good point, though, about in the 4th quarter how Kansas City was selling out on 1st and 2nd down. They were sending everything. To your point, you get big decisions come. What do you do?
You can pass it to them, too. Texas. It's open every play. I don't know, man. Kansas City, Philadelphia. You think it's a hot take that I say I like Philadelphia?
Yeah, because the line's already going up to 2.
Has it?
At 1. We're in an unbelievable run of Super Bowl spreads. I still go back, like, I hate sounding old, but, like, going back, like, how many blowouts we had to watch?
Yeah.
Like, those Cowboy teams and Niners, like the Niners were, 18-point favorite against Stan Humphries and the Chargers?
They got there, too.
Yeah, they did. Who'd you have?
I'm pretty sure in that one I laid them. I didn't think San Francisco was going to be stopped.
No,
and they weren't.
They weren't.
And they weren't. I'm stubborn, but I'm not completely hopeless.
Redskins covered all those ones that they won.
They did. They did. We're not. Are you going?
Yeah.
Got some commerce? Got some trading to do?
Got some
appearances?
Things to do. Yeah.
I like that. I'm open for business. Anybody wants to bring me down there and I speak to your corporate outing, tell some stories. What really happened in the Atlanta airport, Scott? I was so glad. I was so glad someone took a picture of me just to prove it. When I got that picture, I was so embarrassingly happy. I was like, that was it. And the guy has the picture. I left out of the story the part after I slid up against the wall in my fancy boy shoes, looking like a crazy European, where I'm sitting there totally exasperated, rage texting the bosses, where I look up and there's a guy with his happy-ass face doing a selfie of me like I'm a zoo animal or a dead body at a crime scene. And I look at the guy and I just go, could you not right now? And then I realized, okay, this is a fan. He's done nothing wrong. I would say in general, the uninvited, happy, lean-in selfie with a man that is clearly having a moment. Got to read the room a little bit. But somewhere that guy's got. Well, we actually have a photo together because I dapped him. I gave him a hug. I'm like, hey, man,
best part.
My bad. That's on me. I'm having a rough one here, but you didn't do anything wrong. Let's take a picture together. But the person that has the zoo animal picture of me sitting on the ground, knee-length cashmere, fancy boy shoes, just like, not going to be able to do.
So
Thank you.
You and Matt Berry cut the line. Is that a fact?
I went on with Levitard. I mean, I guess technically.
Okay.
But let me just say this. Smetana and anybody else that's listening, I'll do it again. Only sooner. I'm not waiting next time because I'll know, hey, this is bullshit. This is anarchy. This isn't a line. I'm not cutting a line. There isn't a line. Okay? So next time I'll go, there'll be no next time, never again. However, if there is a next time, A, international terminal, B, if all else fails and I'm in that situation, I'll do it again with zero reservation or apology. I'm not waiting back here. Okay? All that's back here is death. This dude's not dying right here by these fucking kiosks. I'm going down there. I'm going to weasel my way in. I'm going to get my way. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a kid and I'm going to go right through.
There you go.
Not a kidnapping.
No.
Again, family right behind me. They're from Belgium. We're together.
We're going to ring them right on through.
Okie doke. What else we got?
Got a red hot team in College Park.
Listen, 2 road wins.
Come on, no, stop this.
2 road wins.
Yeah.
It was a good week. Good week. Got the Badgers coming in Wednesday. Hey, this shout out to the hey, how long you at Stanford didn't have semesters? You guys did that super smart school thing where you just
trimesters. I don't know.
I'm just saying our break at Maryland is absurd.
Oh, they just came back today.
It's what are we doing?
They were off like December 10th. Maybe even earlier.
What are we doing? Dr. Pines, I get that the U.S. News World Report rankings are up and that.
Hey, now.
And I could never get in now, and that super duper. I'm great that we're all smart out there in College Park. But could we get people back, not to learn, but to go to games? We need the students back earlier because you have a month with no students. But Wednesday night, students are back. And all you bandwagon Terp fans that can't
there we go. They're back, baby.
That can't be bothered and complain about every damn thing.
Refs.
Whistle, bad whistle. Hey, but we don't have the Cole whistle. We got the Cole Fieldhouse whistle. Bring that in. Wisconsin's a bad wagon. They made they're a 3-point shooting juggernaut. This ain't the Badger team that Andy North used to root for that scored like 40 a game, and it was just like watching. Remember when I said on the radio watching Big Ten basketball? It's like watching fat people have sex.
Hey.
I said that.
Now you're Big Ten Scotty.
Yeah, I don't think I was.
Is this one of those days where
I've evolved? I would never say that now.
Where North just calls you Wednesday morning. Hey, I got on the team playing. I'm here. Where are you?
I don't know. He's on his own Wednesday.
He's still in Hawaii?
No, the tour's not in Hawaii. But this Wisconsin team they're a 3-point shooting.
Enough about the road team. Let's talk about the Terps.
2-0.
Couple good portal moves.
Oh, listen, Jacoby Gillespie's an absolute wagon. Love him. Love him. 2-0 road week, and everybody's back in. There's no excuse for that building not to be great. That building can be great, and when it is great, it is great. But no excuses Wednesday night.
Is Is it the Xbox still?
I don't know.
Come on, we gotta have a name.
I don't know what it is. It's Xfinity Center.
Snake Pit.
Snake pit, indoor snake pit. But seriously, you guys, there are nights when the building won't let you lose. Wednesday should be one of those nights.
Have people underneath the flag when they pull it down, not over empty chairs.
Right, we bring in hobos to drag the thing down. What are we doing?
7:00 tip. Leave your house at 5.
Right, we got the Beltway to deal with. Always got a complaint. Beltway. And it is a problem. It's a pain in the ass. But
leave early. Everybody can work from home these days.
A fair point.
You're not working.
A fair point.
This is Tom Izzo's best Michigan State team since.
It's hard for me to answer that because I don't see the obvious pro. Like, Tom's had so many just stud pros.
Final Four in 19. They got beat by Texas Tech. Beat Zion in the Elite Eight. That was Cassius Winston.
It's funny because I watched them play earlier this year, and they were like, how many D1 teams are there? Like 360 or whatever? Yeah. They were like 360 in three-point shooting.
Yeah.
The worst. But they haven't lost in a long time.
You don't have to go there either.
They come to College Park.
Nice.
Come to College Park, late February. No one like this is good for our little group of people listening.
No, big picture. We got college hoops. There's nothing else. Best team in the Big 12.
Houston.
Really?
I like them. I just the win they had the other night against Kansas is an impossibility just statistically. I mean, Kansas in Fog Allen was up 6 twice with like 18 seconds to go and in regulation and overtime and managed to lose. That Houston team's tough as nails. Grown-ass adults that play that way. You got to kill them 4 times to beat them. And Kansas only did it a couple, maybe twice or 3 times. I don't know. Iowa State's on the road tonight. That's a really tough team, too.
Yeah.
Those two together to be a chore. But that Arizona team that people left for dead early this year when they looked lost, they've figured some stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interested in that one tonight for sure.
But I say Houston's. I just believe in Kelvin Sampson.
It's crazy how they've come into the Big 12 and just, all right, we're here.
Because the culture, identity, all those things that people like to just put on like a hoodie, they actually have it.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have it.
Good call.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't be some fabulous 5-star that's all about the icing. You better be about the cake if you want to play for Houston. You better be about the work. And that's what they've had. And they do again. What do they won? 12 in a row? Damn. Michigan State's in the same category. I've enjoyed watching college hoops. Like, there's people that I don't think
people can score. That's what's way better.
Yeah, like every Alabama,
Auburn, Tennessee.
Yeah,
holy shit!
Isn't that funny? You watch Alabama and Kentucky play, and it's like 106-95. You watch Auburn and Tennessee play, and it is an absolute beer brawl, rock fight, whatever you want to call it. Was the final like 51-49 or something?
22-20. It's so funny because Bruce Pearl's doing his halftime interview with Jess, and he's like, Jess, I already know what's happening. Billis is over there mad because he's calling it a rock fight. And Billis said rock fight at least 4 times in the first half. It was unbelievable how precise and right Bruce Pearl was.
53-51, by the way, was the final.
Yeah.
Maybe got away with a walk late there.
Oh, it was ugly.
I'm just glad Broom's back. When he got hurt, Jahani Broom is.
Yeah, I don't think he looks close to 100 either. I give him credit.
But any percentage is better than 0. And when he hurt his ankle, at first it looked like significant. And that was potentially. Although I want to say the first game they played without him was at home against Mississippi State, and they beat the crap out of him because they've got a lot of different ways to play you.
That's got to be the best gym in America.
You know what's perfect about it is it's the right size because it's small.
Yep.
That's the secret about Cameron. That's what makes and that's why when we've gotten into this conversation, I say what makes Fog Allen the best is it's like Cameron times 2. And they managed to have that small gym feel in a big gym. That's hard to do. But our guy Patsos, because it's an Under Armour thing, like He's like, hey, Bruce has got it. He's got it exactly right down there. Dude, the jungle, they got a great situation down there. You recruit Atlanta. Auburn's good.
He runs some good shit.
Bruce Pearl, he runs good. Hey, when we were looking at Maryland, but hey, they were number one. He's exactly where he's supposed to be. He's good. That building is tremendous.
I have to say it again. Shout out to Patsos. He called the American game Saturday. Then he went over to GW and called that game.
The show goes on. And
only me is up at 1:30 on Saturday night watching Wizards at Suns.
Why?
Because I want to. I hate to say it. The Wizards play hard.
They play hard?
They do.
What's their record?
They play hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. The 6-38 Wizards.
They do?
With a negative 14.3 point differential on a nightly basis, they play hard.
They're 1-20 on the road. So anyway, I'm watching.
But they're really out there battling.
They are.
For 48.
They're not a bad watch.
Get the fuck out of here.
They're not a bad watch.
All right. Okay, but anyway, back to that. You're watching Phoenix and Washington.
Post-game, monumental. Who's in studio? Jimmy P. I could not believe it. And I just, the man is a machine.
He's the best.
An absolute machine. He'll probably be it, unless American and GW have a game. He should be in the building Wednesday, right?
We'll find out. My guess would be yes. Hopefully he is.
All right, lastly.
Yep.
Big road trip this weekend.
Okay.
Pro Bowl.
That's great. We're heading your way, Orlando.
False or true?
People generally say true or false, but false or true, I understand.
False or true. Gets the kids' attention more.
That's a good point. It got my attention.
You're going to bring your kids to show you where your house was.
I hadn't even thought about that.
You have to.
Show them Dad's old haunt.
Church Street.
I don't want to give the address because but we're over in College Park, right off there, by the Art
There's
Deco.
a College Park in Orlando?
Yeah, College Park, downtown, right by the Edgewater Publix. Shout out to, what was the name of that sub shop? Was it Gabriel's? I don't know if it's still there. Probably. I've been gone a long time. Get a sub shop the size of your leg, and we'll go by the old College Park haunt.
Edge of Lila's face. Dad, you?
Yep.
Right there?
It's a pool in the back. I threw the Sega in there when I lost the NHL 94 series.
Really?
True story.
Like from the porch?
Walked out and just chucked it in the pool. I got beat. My roommate, my guy A Storm, he was better than me, obviously. He played with a terrible team, and he beat me in a series, and I threw the thing in the pool. It wasn't great. I've matured. I don't throw things now.
I heard Publix is expanding.
Okay.
And now they have like burrito shops.
I want them to expand to our neighborhood just because,
man.
Let me tell you what, where shopping is a pleasure, that's a fact, buddy.
No doubt.
I don't know what it is. It's the same stuff. They got cereal and stuff. It's
but there's no like gnats and flies around their fried chicken. It's good.
They got good hot food going.
Yeah. They got a burrito bar.
And it's very bright and clean, and you just want to buy all manner of groceries. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going by the house, but we're going by the Edgewater Publix.
There we go.
Art Deco.
You going to see Mickey?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Well, actually, you know what? I don't know right now if the kids are more excited about the idea of getting to hang out at the Pro Bowl and potentially meet some players that they are excited to meet, or Disney. I mean, it's easy to say that now. Once you're at Disney, you're definitely psyched you're at Disney. But, I mean, if you get to meet some of these stars, I'm sure they'll be psyched.
What's the quickest you could think, like, good trip? Let's say you have access to a front-of-the-line deal. How many hours can you get in and out of there? 3 kids.
To Disney? I mean, and do what you want to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I think anyone that's been to Disney has seen the children that are just appear to be comatose. because they left it all on the field. There's a sweet spot, and you got to find it. And it's the old analogy about being at a party. It's way better to leave 15 minutes
Bingo.
early than to leave 15 minutes too late. Stuff gets sideways late. So always want to leave 15 minutes early. So I'd say it's a meal thing. You get there before you eat lunch, keep going after lunch, leave before dinner.
What if you go after lunch?
Through
say like 1 to 4. Can you get it all in?
No chance.
No? Okay.
No chance. Just too much geography to cover.
It is not small.
Big property. You need more time than that. But I'm saying that the people that do all day there, you're braver than I.
I was thinking about the Epcot beer run.
Less is more. There you go. Just get tanked.
Yeah.
Where's Dad? Oh, he's a wreck over here. He puked in the beer garden. It's fine. Only a few people took videos. It's out there. What was the score of the game? What was the score of the game this weekend?
Oh, we got beat 28-2. 8-year-old hoops. We're
Who was coaching?
No one.
No coach?
Our coach. I don't know who it is.
Oh, I thought you were involved in that one.
No.
What was your daughter's question?
So wifey's coaching the oldest. They got a game at 3. Middle one's got a game at 2. I got duty to go to the 2:00 game, which is far. We're up in Travilla. Older one's down in Chevy Chase, so we're not going to make the second game. So I got the little one with me. End of first quarter, I believe it's 12-0.
Them.
8-year-old hoops, other team. And the little one looks at me and says, "How many more quarters?" And I told her, way too many.
Too many. 28-2 was the final?
28-2, yeah. The Mercy Rule set around 20-0. They went zone. We had some good zone beaters with some dribble penetration. We just went 0 for 31 from the field.
It happens.
We have a Lila on our team. Her first basket, she scored. Got us avoided the shutout.
That's good. I'm trying to think in my head. I think in football, if you get beat something to 2, it's just way worse. I think you don't want to get blanked. Getting on the board's big.
Oh, it's huge.
For the next game. Because
2 from the line. We got to work on that.
Yeah. Just, it's about routine. 3 dribbles, bend the knees and shoot. Whatever it is, 1 dribble, spin it. I don't care, but we got to have a routine at the line. Right?
Yeah. We got a routine going. We got the basement set up. It looks like Hoosiers down there. I got chairs set up. We're dribbling. Because when you're on the left side of the court, you know what you got to be able to use?
That left hand.
We got priorities this week.
I mean, if you lose 28-2, I think being able to go left isn't really going to help, particularly.
We're only going up from here, buddy.
That's a fair point.
Yep.
We had a better result. My middle guy had a couple of late buckets. Big lead. It evaporated, down 1 late. Hit a bucket, gave him a 1-point lead, and then had a fast break, which I couldn't believe got pulled off. Pass was caught, dribble, and might have jumped out of the bleachers. I know I did. Caught myself. Caught it, hit the floor, used glass, bucket good. Just, he executed the fundies.
There you go. Use the glass. It's your best friend.
That's wifey's call. And
Wifey got a win, 17-10.
Bang. Well, 22-19, my man had the last couple buckets just beaming. Because hadn't made it onto the score sheet coming into this game, and just he was despondent because he can shoot. Managed to get 6 in this one. 6 of the 22, including the last 4. That was a happy kid. Feeling good.
What do they call it? Clutch time. Do you have the clutch gene?
I didn't want to use that term. But you know what he had? He had the fun gene. He had the happy.
There we go.
He had a smile on his face. But I told him, I said, we can't tie happiness to if I don't score, it sucks. You can't. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. But I'm not going to discourage a young man from being happy that he contributed, and winning's more fun than losing. Like kids can count.
Oh yeah.
They had how many? 28. We had Doesn't take too long to count to 2. Let's get that routine worked out.
We're going.
They shoot on a 10-foot?
Yeah, first year.
So that's what we got. Well, that other team.
It is not pretty.
How'd the other team get 28?
Oh man, they went right to the hoop. We have problem picking up our person in transition defense.
Is there a line that you can't guard? You can't guard till you get to like a line.
Yeah, but there we're past the line when we were still getting back on defense.
Well, that's a hustle issue.
How about press? Can you guys press? Because you want to talk about a catastrophe. Holy shit! I mean, if you're up 10 in the fourth quarter in a basketball game with 10 8-year-olds
and you're pressing,
come on.
Let's evaluate. Let's self-evaluate.
God bless the refs.
Amen to that.
I go shake their hand after every game. Thank you.
Well, you used to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So you know.
Dark times.
Understood. But it goes a long way just to say thank you for being here. And they're trying to help.
They are.
They're trying to help. And they'll let you get away with the shuffle.
Oh, yeah.
Or, a few steps.
They don't want to see that clock stop.
It's a fair point.
We would have fought if I was an IM ref and you were playing IMs, no doubt.
Probably.
I know how you were.
Animated. Animated. And I've grown. I've evolved. We don't cast aspersions.
Is that your most important thing when you were looking at priorities? Like IM hoops, right?
Went back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was uber competitive.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
there was big.
A big school like that, you had a ton of people that could have played places that just didn't, and now it high level.
It was super high level. Like we had probably the football team had like 3 teams, but we had grad school at Stanford. Like grad school had teams, so we had like 4 guys from the Princeton team that beat UCLA had a team.
Well, then you weren't going to beat them.
You tried. You want to talk about physical? Oh, my Lord.
Right, against a group that understands to backpick you to death against a bunch of meathead football players.
And then like, we almost had a draft. We did have a draft my junior year. So it was like, all right, we got to get the 5 best or 7 best on one team and then have like, all right, we'll piece together. But like, we got to have a team that's ready. Still couldn't do it. They were so shooting. Yeah. Like 15-footer, forget it.
They had rankings. The newspaper, the Diamondback school newspaper did rankings. I don't know if they do that anymore, but like it's a big one. My fraternity and against Sigma Chi, they were 1-2.
You lost?
We did. Ref, it was bought and paid. Everyone knows it. I mean, he DJ'd the party the night before. It's a fact. I mean, look,
Were you at the party?
No, he was at their house, and then you guys
had curfew.
There was a foul called, and I don't want to go over it. It's just those that know. There was chicanery.
I got to see the tape of that game.
There is no tape. It's before it existed.
Was there a party after that?
Not at our house. We lost, but I did tell the guys on the basketball team. It's a true story. I told
that year.
Yeah, like my guy Keith Gatlin. I'm like, you should tell the fellas to come by. Like, my guy Keith Gatlin was the best. He's like, I'm not trying to come watch I was like, come watch a fraternity game. I was like, yeah, but you know who come and watch the fraternity game? The sororities. He's like, bet what time?
So you guys played in Cole?
No. That game was in the Armory, but they had to cancel the games that were on the courts adjacent because there were too many people, and my guy, like, is Greg. Here comes a bunch of the guys from the basketball team. They weren't there to watch our dumbasses. They were there to see the Kappa Gammas.
We got to play on Maple's floor. It was awesome.
Well, yeah, the championships were in Cole. We didn't make it because we got beat because the guy, the DJ, threw the game. Documented. Ask anyone. Not funny. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to slander the guy.
No.
Those that know, again, those that know.
It'll come up.
I'm sure the people, but the guys that'll chirp the loudest, they were on the B team, so we're not really worried about their opinion.
We also had the worst idea ever. Our coaching staff had the worst idea ever. We had a thing called the Cardinal Classic, where the football coaches split up the football team for fives, and it was a tournament.
Bloodbath.
Oh, my God. The worst. Hated it.
Yeah, but there was probably a bunch of dudes that could have played.
Yeah, oh, no, there was plenty of guys that could play, but it was the guys that couldn't play that would just, like, you want to talk about, like, not giving up free ones? Like, it was into the – I'm serious. Into the bleachers. I'm like, what are we even doing? But it was to measure toughness.
Maybe we teach that in the 28-2 league. We just say, listen, you know what there are no? There are no free twos.
No.
Think about that. How old are the girls? 8?
8.
And then you just look at your opponent and go, you know what? You're going to earn these two.
No free twos.
No free twos. Life lessons. Start them early. All right.
Get you on a bird down in New Orleans. Come down and see the people. Hope the snow melts.
I'm open for business. I mean, again, come tell stories. Whatever you need. Sign some headshots.
Friday night steak at Desi's. Cannot wait.
It's going to be a good time. I think I might have credit at the Nugget. Is that the one down? No,
Harris.
Yeah, that one.
You know how much it is to stay at Harris Super Bowl week?
I don't.
$5,500 a night.
Come on.
4-night minimum.
That's criminal.
It like we were in Las Vegas last. Like it was great. We thought we were going to deal with a bunch of traffic. Like we got out early and did our thing.
Yeah.
They're blowing those prices away. I mean, Vegas is different. There's way more options. Hotels, and New Orleans is the best, but they are just taking people to the woodshed money wise. I meant to check out flights because I noticed here when Washington won, all the flights to New Orleans sold out. So I was wondering if anyone canceled.
Red's come from the back. I think this is our signal to stop talking. Red, you ready? Are you done?
Hungry?
We'll go eat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. All right, we'll go get a treat.
Tails wagging.
All right, tails wagging. Time for treats. No free twos.